Still be a better team.
Mm.
But like I didn't leave this Oregon team for dead. I think after 1 week, like I think a lot of people did. But yeah, keeping it moving. We got some agreement there. We're going to Jerry World. The Arkansas Razorbacks are a 2.5-point dog against the Texas A&M Aggies. Oh, and we didn't touch on this. This was my green line stat of the week.
Okay.
Texas A&M now has 8 games in the last 3 seasons with scoring 20 points or less. And surprisingly enough, they're 5-3 in those games where they scored 20 points or less. So this defense has been very good. And I feel like to put that into perspective, Iowa has 9 games in the last 3 seasons where they score 20 points or less, and they're 2-7 in those games. So you got to give it up to this Texas A&M defense. I thought they played really well against Miami, but I feel like Miami just played so poorly. Like just so many drops. They scored what? It was 17-14, was that? Or 17-9 was the final score. Like they scored 2 touchdowns, and one of them was a 20-yard drive after that muffed punt in the first quarter. So like the offense still has done nothing really. Like it seemed like it wasn't as bad with Max Johnson, but he was far from spectacular in that game against Miami. So I wasn't really sure how much of it to like credit the Texas A&M defense and how much Miami just seemed to beat themselves. Like even the 4th and short there at the end of the game, just wide open across the middle, guy just drops a ball right at his chest. So I think this A&M defense is good, but this was a potential trap game for Arkansas. Other than the fact that it's a huge game going to Jerry World, but we got at Alabama coming to Arkansas next week. So this was a potential trap game, but I feel like Arkansas had the trap game last week. Who did they play again? Can you remind me? Do you know who Arkansas? Terrible Missouri State.
Yes, Bobby Petrino. That was the Bobby Petrino return.
Just absolutely sleepwalked through that game. And so I feel like that game may have woke them up a little bit that, we can't just sleepwalk through every game. We got to get up for every game. So Arkansas was not impressed by them last season, but I still think they're the second best team in the West. And I think just going up against Texas A&M, they just feel like a better team right now. They're better offensively. I don't think they're going to leave as many plays on the field like Miami did. I think they're going to make some of those plays that Texas A&M gives them. And KJ Jefferson, like we've talked about this year, he's one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the SEC. A lot of people maybe had him ahead of Hendon Hooker. It was really between him and Hooker being the second best coming into the year. No one really saw Stetson Bennett kind of playing how he has in the first 3 weeks, but KJ Jefferson is right at the top with the best quarterbacks in the SEC, and I think he's going to get it done. I think Arkansas, I was shocked to see them not favored to begin with. So I'm going to go with the Hogs to get it done.
Whew. Okay. So we're going to agree again, Matt Green. The Aggies, 83rd in rushing defense at this point. So one of the interesting things, scoring defense has been great. Like they're a bend, don't break team, top 10 in scoring defense in college football. A lot of talent there, keeping them in games with the offense just being awful. Haynes King's been atrocious. Like we'll see if Max Johnson, your boy, comes in and just gets them a little bit more competent, takes the easy stuff. JD Piquel of On3 had a really good explainer of like why the time is now to flip from Haynes King to Max Johnson. And I fear his analogy was basically like, he used a car analogy, and essentially it's just like he's going to drive the car. Like Max Johnson's going to get the car where it needs to go. Haynes King, you're like, we're going to take some side routes. We're going to maybe go a little bit too fast at points. You're just not sure where it's ultimately going. You know exactly what Max Johnson's doing with that car. You know exactly how it's going to go, where it's going to, like that whole thing. Because he's safe.
I think that's a good comparison. It's a higher floor with Max Johnson.
That being said, they are number 9 in passing defense. So the thing that A&M really excels at is you're not going to pass on A&M. You're not going to beat them deep. You're not going to beat them with a high scoring back and forth. But you can run on them. Do you know who is more than happy to just only run the football and just only drive you into oblivion running the football? It's the Hogs. They have a 3-back system. KJ Jefferson obviously loves running, and they get him incredibly involved. He's built like a running back. Dude's huge, takes a beating, more than by most underrated quarterback in the SEC. This is not a good matchup, I think, for A&M. And I think if this is in Arkansas, I think we're looking at a 10.5+ point favorite for the Hogs with this one. I think Arkansas wins, and I think A&M, the heat turns up even more. And if there isn't a quarterback change going into this one, there will be after, because I think Arkansas is the better team, and I think they're the better matchup here. So give me the Hogs to win.
The quarterback change has already happened, though, right? Like
Is it official?
It's got to be Max Johnson. I mean,
have they announced it though?
I don't know that, but I mean, did Haynes King get one snap in that Miami game? Like, I think it was all Max Johnson. Even it's not like he was great, but I think after a win, after losing to App State, I feel like it's no question that it's Max Johnson.
Okay, I mean, they might go back.
I don't know that it's official.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see ultimately if he is back and gets. I guess we'll see. I just would not be surprised if we see multiple guys, because my whole thing is I think they're gonna be down again, and if Max Johnson's struggling, we'll see.
Yeah, I could see it. Moving forward, we got our primetime ABC game. Wisconsin going at Ohio State. Ohio State's a 17.5 point home favorite in this one. This one was tough for me. So obviously Wisconsin had the Washington State loss early, but like you said, Washington State is a good team. So I don't think that's like a bad loss by any means. But I feel like Ohio State, like there might be the games where Ohio State can kind of sleepwalk, kind of come out not necessarily